one story because it says a lot. My very first year playing was in 1971. Wow. And we had a manager. The manager wasn't very good to me, and it was 1971. It was right after the riots, right? This guy's name was Ducky Le John, and he just happened to be from the South, right? And what does he know? He don't know nothing, but he didn't like me so much. Only reason I say he doesn't like me because he didn't let me play, right? I just turned down UCLA, just turned them down, and signed with the Dodgers. And I go to spring training, and leave out with with the Class A team, right? Which was kind of high. Usually you go to a rookie league or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I go to him, and it was in Bakersfield, California. So shoot, I'm right down the street from Sacramento, mm-hmm. right? I'm in the vicinity. So we were coming up to play in a city called Lodi, and right in a city called Lodi, right where that's where your wine is now, right? It's right on there. Right? So we were getting ready to play against a team in Lodi, and I hadn't played a game. This is like 13, 14 games into the season. I have not started one game, and so I went into his office, and you didn't used to do that back when I started. I went into his office. I said, "Hey, listen, we're headed to Lodi. We're getting ready to get on the bus to go to Lodi, and I know we have a double hitter the first day we're there. We're going to have 2 games." I said, "Is there any way possible that I could start one of those games? My family's going to be there. My entire basically the city of Sacramento going to be there, mm-hmm. right? And our baseball community in Sacramento is second to none anywhere in the United States. Okay. No one has a bigger baseball community than we do, and I knew that they were going to be there, and I wanted to show off. And my high school girlfriend was going to be there, so I really wanted to show her. So so Ducky Le John says, "You know what? I could probably do that. I could see you start one of the games." He goes, "I'll let you know when we get up there, right?" Meanwhile, like I've hit a couple of times. I've come in and pitch ran, right? So anyway, so we get there, and Ducky says, "Jerry, you're going to play. You're going to, first game. You're going to play third base." He goes, "I'm going to get you in there." And I said, "Thanks. My family's, I'm sure they're going to be right here, as soon as we get off this bus, right?" And that's the last thing I said to him until the game started hours later, right? And I went off. I mean, I went off. I not only did I was 4 for 5. I had like 4 stolen bases. I scored 4 runs.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I couldn't ball. I could ball. I mean, they're paying me, and I didn't even get drafted. Back then, if you didn't get drafted, you barely ever. I signed as a free agent.
Okay.
Right. So anyway, I go off, and now the game's over, right? And I'm getting ready to go see my family, right? I'm getting ready to go say hi to everybody in between games because I know I ain't playing, mm-hmm. right? I know he barely let me play that game. So I'm outside talking to the family and the friends and everything, and here comes one of the other coaches. We only had one other coach. He comes out and he says, "Hey, Ducky wants to see you." And I said, "Really?" I said, "You know what it is? Because I'm out here with my family. Because right now I'm mad. I'm mad at Ducky. I don't want to hear anything.
You're not a big fan of his.
No, and mind you, I'm 17 years old, right? 18 years old, and I was 18 years old. And then he said, "No, Jerry, you need to come." And I said, "Okay." So and my dad said, "You get your butt in there, right? You get your butt in there." I go in there, and Ducky says, "Hey, you did such a great job. I'm going to put you in there the second game." And I wanted to say, I swear, I thought about saying, "No kidding. That 4 for 5 and 4 runs scored and 4 stolen bases."
Probably a good thing you did. Just keep your mouth shut. Probably a good thing you did.
It was great. But again, it was my dad. It was that stopped me from, making a huge mistake.
Get to sit right down the street of Sacramento.
And guess what?
And hanging out at the forum.
So the very next thing, so I played that game, went off again, hit my first professional home run, just balled, right?
Okay.
Right? Now we played 2 games. right? And the next day we're playing there, but the next day
He don't play you.
I don't start, right? And I'm sitting on the bench, and everybody's back, everybody's there. Now my daddy's going like, "What's going on?"
I'm finna put you back in your place.
He actually took me. He took somebody out just so I could play. And he says, "Yeah, but that other guy playing like you playing?" I said, "No, he ain't." And he says, "Well, you need to talk to him again." And I said, "Okay," I didn't know what. But so the game's over with. That's the third game. Mm-hmm. We're leaving, right? We getting ready to get back on the bus, right? We getting ready to go to Modesto or someplace like that. And actually, we went back home. We went back to Bakersfield, and we had a day off the next day after that game, and the next day I come to the ballpark and start getting dressed. Ducky wants to see you. So I go in Ducky's office, and Ducky says, "Jerry, I just don't think you have what it takes to be a Major League Baseball player. And I can't see you getting enough playing time here. So we're going to release you." He wasn't sending me down. He was sending me home.
After you just went 4 for 5, 3 for 4, and he's going to send you home.
Grandma?
With a home run.
With the home run. Your first home run.
Made it too close, man. You look surprised, man. You look surprised.
Grandma used to always say,
made it too close.
Made it too close.
He says, "We are sending you home." And everybody's in the locker room getting dressed. And I said what you said. I said, "Man," I just played so good, I said, he goes, I just don't see it. They're asking me, how it's going, and I don't see you being the guy.
Here you go.
So I said, "Okay," but now I'm embarrassed. Like, I'm getting ready to go home and have to tell these people that I ain't good enough. I ain't never not been good enough. I've been pretty good at everything as far as sports go. But so I go back to the locker room, start packing. I don't know if you know this, but I start packing my clothes, right? Mm-hmm. And my teammates come over, and they're coming over, and they're going, "What's up?" I said, "I just got released." And this one guy that has been playing for like 5 years, he's still in Class A, black guy. And he takes his hat off. Lee Thompson is the guy's name. He takes his hat off, and bam, he slams it on the ground, walks into Ducky's office, right? Because he getting ready to bring up the race thing, right? It's obvious to everybody that there ain't no way that I just signed. I've only played 2 games. I've only played 2 games. I've only started 2 games. So anyway, the story continues that as I'm packing, getting ready to go, and all my teammates are wondering what's going on, I'm wondering what Lee's doing, what he's doing in Ducky's office.
Choking him out.
Choking him the fuck out.
Choking him out.
Hey, James, this guy, Lee comes out and says, "Hey, man, sorry," he goes, I couldn't convince him to do anything with you either. And, he goes, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Shoot, I'm going home. I'm getting ready to go play basketball, man. I should have done that in the first place, So I'm packed up. The guys are leaving out to go to the field to start practice and stuff. Mm-hmm. Ducky's nowhere to be found, right? I got my bag. I'm walking out. As I'm walking through the clubhouse, that same coach comes to me and says, "Hey, Ducky needs to see you in his office." I said, "I'm done with Ducky." I said, "I don't think I ever want to see Ducky again," right? He says, "Jerry, you need to go see Ducky." I go in, and he's on the phone with our farm director. And I walk into his office, and Ducky says, "Mr. Sweppy wants to talk to you." So I'm on the phone with Mr. Sweppy. He says, "Hey, man," he goes, "Hey, I'm sorry about what's going on, but we have an opening in Daytona Beach, Florida. Someone's gotten hurt, and we'd like for you to, if you want, you can go there as opposed to going home." He goes, "I know you have some other things that you can do." I said, "No." I said, "I want to go play. I want to go anywhere where I can play. I said, I'm a good baseball player. I know I can do this. I've been watching everybody else, and I know I can do this. And he says, well, we're going to get you an airplane ticket. We're flying you to Daytona Beach, Florida, right? I'm a California boy now. I'm getting ready to go to Florida.
Florida, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
Going to Florida, baby.
So I go. I'll keep it short from here on, but I had to set it up. So I go to Daytona Beach, and I get with a manager that's from Alabama. No problem, though. This dude says, Jerry, you're my guy. He says, you're going to play third base here, and you're going to play every single day. He goes, what happened to you shouldn't happen. I don't even know how I even knew. This was 2 days after Ducky, And so I go there, make the all-star team. This is a month into the season. I go there, I make the all-star team halfway through in the Florida State League, right? Playing against Ken Griffey Sr., Dan Dreesen, some of the guys, and I'm on that team, and they knew that I had gotten released, and so a year and a half after Ducky said that he didn't think I could do it, guess where I was? In Los Angeles, playing for the Dodgers in the major leagues. A year and a half later, I played Double-A the next year, half a year Triple-A, and got called up in
You got
in
dementia?
August. What's that?
You got dementia?
Can I ask you a question?
What's that?
Whatever happened to Ducky?
Wait, hold on. I want to hear what year it is.
Yeah,
Before
what
his
year?
dementia kicks
Okay,
in.
so this is 1973, right? August 23rd, 1973.
So you made it, and Ducky ass still coaching in.
Ducky came up. So at the end of the year, the Dodgers bring in all the managers. You remember how that goes, Greg? Right? Yeah. They bring in all the minor league managers for the last month of the season to hang and let them hang out for a week or so. So I'm sitting in my locker. I'm sitting next to, Dodger greats, Steve Garvey, Ron Say, Davey Lopes was my guy and still is, get well, Davey. So I'm sitting there, and somebody taps me on my shoulder in September, and it was Ducky. And he puts both hands on these rubber mics. He says, boy, did I make a mistake on you. And I do one of these, and Steve Garvey says, man, don't you ever do that to anybody ever again. He says, don't you ever treat somebody like that. And he knew the story. He knew what had happened. Steve Garvey said that. And I get up and I said, let's go. I said, Ducky, let's go outside. Let's go, And I take him out because I hadn't seen him, hadn't heard from him, right? And because the very next year I was in Major League camp. He was in minor league camp.
Still down there playing with the little kids.
Same team, right?
Sucker.
Right, went right by all them dudes, all those guys that were playing ahead of me, and it wasn't their fault. But anyway, so and I said, Ducky, I said, why did you do that? I said, you haven't even said anything to me since that even happened. And he goes, hey man, he goes, we're human and we make mistakes like that. I said, but you can't do that to anybody, and that taught me a lesson.